my house. There's snow at my house.
Oh, we're live.
Don't say we're live, Darnell. It's supposed to sound like we were just hanging out.
You didn't tell me that
by accident.
He wasn't going to tell
you that because I wanted the conversation to sound natural, Darnell. That's why I didn't tell you that we were going live.
But or you went live. No. If you just said don't acknowledge we're live, I would have not acknowledged we're live.
It was showtime. Okay, Darnell. Well, we ran out of time to talk about it, so I wanted it to sound organic.
Nuke it and start over.
So Darnell, just so you know, don't say we're going live or hey, we're live.
Got it.
Okay. We figured that out
yesterday. Now. I did that yesterday, right before the theme song started on insert title here. Just right that.
Are we live?
Window of time.
Yeah. I heard that.
Perfect. I'm glad that got in.
It was great. It was great.
We're professionals here.
Hey, as professional as we can get, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. I'm hanging out with Drunk Emerald Arrow and Quizmaster Darnell Quigley today. How are you fellas?
I don't know if we're live, but we're gonna talking to a crowd.
That's right, dude. We're gonna have a ton of viewers. We may get something as high as 5, maybe 6 viewers during the course of this broadcast, which would set a new record for the Touch Grass podcast with Theo Snodgrass. So that's the power of alliteration. Drunk Emerald, how are you doing today?
Well, I still have an IV of coffee going into me, and I am currently still in the process of waking up. I'm thinking it's because I'm using the wrong kind of delivery service. I'm going to need to start, if they can put coffee into a can. Oh, no, wait, they do have that. I'm going to need to start shotgunning coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always just try meth.
No, I was.
Nah, you know what? I've heard some bad things about it. Coffee's a little safer. I hear there's some ill effects of that product.
No, yeah.
You lose a lot of weight fast, though, I'll tell you that.
Well, I hear that with cocaine. Just ask Nick Rekieta.
No, listen, guys, here's the thing. Cocaine is expensive, especially now with fucking fentanyl everywhere. And also, here's the thing. You don't start doing cocaine. You start hanging out with girls who want to do cocaine. And then they're like, Daddy, can you buy us cocaine? That's the problem. You know, so listen, I went on a date one time in San Diego. And this girl showed up. I picked up this girl. I didn't realize that she said she wanted to buy some Kelly. I didn't know what that meant. Kelly is a white girl name, and white girl is slang for cocaine. Darnell knows this. So she gets in my car, pulls out a bag of cocaine, spreads it on her iPhone. She's like, "You don't mind, do you?" Does a line right in front of me, and then immediately asks me my sexual orientation. She's like, "Wait,
wow,
are you straight? You're straight, right?"
She was actually hoping for a no, because then she'd be like, so we got to challenge.
More cocaine for me.
No, dude, that girl was nuts. So we went to the bar, and she told the bartender we were engaged so we could get free drinks.
I mean, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, she just did not stop talking the entire night. At one point, she turned to me and she's like, just so you don't get me too drunk, I am gonna go home with you. Just so you know.
Don't get me too wasted that I can't function. You're getting some.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed you would have never stopped talking.
No, that's the thing. She just wouldn't shut the fuck up. So I just shut up, took my foot off the gas, and just let things happen organically. And no, it was a problem. That didn't end well, though, if you can believe it. She was actually living in a halfway house at the time. Whoa! Greg is here.
So you're telling me that didn't end well?
No, it didn't. She was living at a sober house at the time, and she was not sober.
So, yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. And so, she ended up getting kicked out of that sober house. She took all of her money and she got a hotel room and just filled it with like champagne and cocaine and goodies and fucking whatever you can think of, right? And then she called me and she was like, "Hey, do you want to hang out with me while I self-destruct?" And that felt kind of unethical. So that I did. She used to be a model. She was beautiful, man.
Can I document this? Can I document it? That's what you should say. It's like, hey, you want to know what? This is going to be great content. Can I?
That's the thing. Like, you can't. It's girl. I don't know, man. It makes me sad. This is why you don't do drugs, kids. This is why.
Is that the only reason why you don't?
They're expensive.
They're
Cost
expensive,
prohibited?
and you. No, here's the thing about drugs. They're expensive, and you hang out with people who suck all the time if you do drugs. All the time. That's really what it is. It's just everyone you meet is an asshole if you do drugs. That's your whole friend group.
Well, okay. So yeah, Gray brought up something. Yes, you're right. Anything that changes your brain chemistry is drugs. Sugar, chocolate, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think he means like illicit things that really mess you up.
No, Gray's making a point. We do draw the line at kind of an arbitrary way. I think a lot of people have an unhealthy relationship with caffeine. Not naming names in particular.
Bullshit.
Anyway,
Bullshit. I do not have an unhealthy relationship with caffeine. I love caffeine, and caffeine loves me. I love caffeine. Okay. It's consenting. We both enjoy each other's companies. And yes, you want to know what? If we need to, we can separate and spend our own time alone and away from each other when it's necessary. Okay. I'm just saying.
He can stop drinking whatever he wants.
It's just not this morning.
No, listen, I was doing 4 energy drinks a day earlier this week, and now I'm on 0. And I did one, I was tapering off. I did one yesterday. I did one the day before, and now I'm off energy drinks completely. And I feel terrible.
And he gets the fastest erections.
Dude, here's the thing, dude.
Especially after last night.
Yeah, dude. When I have a peach Celsius, man, those peach 5 Celsius, I don't know what they put in those things, man.
I've never heard of this before.
Rocket fuel. It's delicious. It's juicy. It just like nothing feels better than a cold peach Celsius going down a dry throat first thing in the morning, right after you're going to go to the gym, right before you're going to go to the gym.
Coffee feels good.
No, coffee sucks, man. Coffee's for nerds. You want a peach fucking Celsius, dude. Here's the thing about Celsius.
I hate peach.
Here's the thing. The mechanism that Celsius works.
Crap, Theo, you would have been a Zima drinker in the past.
Oh yeah.
Him and Nate.
Him and Nate.
Dude,
yep.
Hey, don't put me in that category, bro. I am not. Listen. I do take when I do drink coffee.
They're Moscato. And Arza. They're Moscato.
No, I am not in that category. That's
Moscato's fine as long as it's not fucking pink.
There we go. It's White Claw. I hate our chat. I hate you guys.
They love you. I'm losing my voice from last night, man. Damn. All that laughing and that coughing, choking killed me last night.
Yeah, when you were on the Much Better Show, insert title here last night, we had a really good time. Make sure to catch that out. That's 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I'm not going to be able to talk tonight. I'm going to talk Curse Strahd, man. I have no voice.
That's great, man.
Oh, poor Darnell. He's going to be sitting there and he's going to be signing.
Oh, no, stop that. This is a family show, Darnell.
As long as it's playing on audio, you can't see everything. Wow. That was pretty profane. Wow, Darnell, you need to calm down there.
That was a Saving Silverman reference where they're like breaking into a house and Jack Black's like saying, "We're going to go and eat something after."
Okay, hold on. I do want to zoom in on this, though. Okay, so the Saving Silverman situation. What do you do if your buddy is in a relationship and you don't think it's a good relationship? What do you do?
Let it self-implode?
It depends on the buddy.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you guys a story to kind of set this up. Okay, so a few years ago, so it was like 2014, 2015, I was hanging out with my buddy on Thanksgiving, and my girlfriend at the time called me, and I was having a couple drinks. We were playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai. I was having a great time. We stayed until 5 in the morning playing video games. I hadn't done that since I was like 13 years old. I'm having a great time. And my girlfriend had called me during the time, and I called her and I answered the phone, and I was drunk and I was having a good time. And she's just screaming at me. She's just like, well, how come you can get drunk with your friends? You can never get drunk with me. This is why. And it's just loud and loud and loud and loud. And I put down the phone and I'm just like, fuck, man. And my buddy looks at me and he's like, your girlfriend sounds bitchy. and just
And she
straight
can
to
hear
my
shit.
face.
That-
Yeah, and he was right. You know, it's like I didn't like to hear it, but would he have really been my friend if he didn't say anything after that? You know?
Well,
I'm fine. I'm fine with the stating my opinion about a relationship or
Yeah,
who my friend is dating, and just say, hey, these are my thoughts on it. But ultimately it's up to the individual themselves. They can either listen to it, take it on themselves, and take the advice, or they can ignore it. It's their relationship. You can
yeah.
kind of just make the comments of, man, she sounds like a bitch, and
Yeah.
let little comments like that. It goes back to the story. Let's see, back in college, I dropped out, just spending a lot of time with the girlfriend that I had at the time. She had her own place. I was still living at home. I went over to her place. I spent the night. I came home. My mom said, oh, over at your girlfriend's having sex. And under my dad's breath, really quietly, he goes, at least someone in this house is getting some. Granted, like 3 years later, they divorced.
that's how you know marriage is
Yeah.
over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good Lord. Oh shit.
I mean, I'm all for like telling someone, look, man, this is what we're noticing.
Oh,
But the
Yeah.
problem is when you say we're noticing, most people aren't gonna back you up on that. Like you can all talk shit about this chick behind him and her back, but when someone
Yeah.
brings it to his attention, most people will be like, "Oh, it's just Darnell saying this. It's not us."
Yeah,
but like you
that's
look at it, and
right.
you're like, "Motherfucker, you all said." I'm repeating what you said, dipshits.
You know what? You know what's so crazy? So I have another story about this. You're so right, because when I had a buddy who was dating this girl who was nuts. It was right at the tail end of college. He was a couple of years older because he played minor league hockey before, and he was going into the military. He was ROTC.
He was
Right.
hot.
So he
Got
was
it.
so he had this. He was 24, 25 years old getting out of college, and
So he was
had
old.
it. Yeah, so that's old when it's that age. When all of your friends are 20, it feels like you're the old man around. Even though
And
the
30
vibe
is
was not.
ancient.
Yeah, that you know what, guys? I'm over 30 years old. I'm a grown man. You guys are talking to me like I'm a fetus.
No,
I've
no,
seen
we're not making
boobs.
fun of you. We're making fun of
We're
Nate.
dipping an 8.
Yeah, we're not making fun of you. We're making fun of Nate.
God damn.
For real.
Well, listen. So we actually staged an intervention for this guy because this girl was so great. Now, here's the thing about this girl. We noticed she kind of just flirted with just absolutely everyone at parties. She could not get along with other women. Anytime there
whore.
was
Got
another
it.
woman that was in the vicinity at all, she started immediately taking passive aggressive shots. She couldn't even pretend to be nice for 2 seconds. And also, we heard a bunch of rumors. She'd been engaged. She was like 21, 22 years old. She'd been engaged 3 times already in her life and never got to the altar. And we heard a pretty gnarly story from somebody who used to date her about how she beat herself up with a hairdryer to get him in trouble. Now, so all of his friends, we all agreed. This is a big group of people because he was at ROTC. We all got together to stage an intervention for him, and she found out about it and kept him away. And so even after that, he married her. Guess what? They divorced 4 years later. It was a huge fucking mess for him.
And she got his
And-
pension, I bet.
Yeah. So and of course, yeah, because she was, and her whole identity while they were together was, I'm a military spouse, blah, 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 And
Was she,
I,
was
like-
she one of the ones that would sit there and say, "You must address me by my husband's rank"?
I'm sure. And I'll tell you what, man, here's the thing. Like we couldn't do anything to get through to him because she was having sex with him. Like there's no way you could compete with that as a man. If she's like really putting it down on him and he's like,
Well,
listen,
But she touches my ding dong, man. I mean, I can't.
well, it all
Dude,
depends on how
weak.
far you want to go to save your buddy's life. I mean, if
That's-
you're really all in, you can get him away from that with your own wiles.
look, I don't know if I'm that committed to any of my friends. I'll be honest with you. That's too much. Especially for a guy who's really never had that good before. If a woman starts putting the good on him, you know what I'm saying? Like it changes the way you think. I mean, fuck, do you remember the first time you were a young man and you were getting laid regularly?
Yeah,
Hey,
she
what
showed me her
would you-
boobs once, and I was already like, whatever you want,
I
whatever
bought
you
the ring.
want.
I bought the ring. I picked the dog out.
Yes, it's whatever you want after that. Like you can't. You're
I
not
already.
going to do
You want to know what
anything.
my okay? So this is how I start my dating. I'll go on a date, and I will already have contacted a divorce attorney and have them on retainer.
That's right.
You already called the priest. You got the divorce attorney on retainer.
Yep, I got
You
everything already
put a loan for
taken
the
care of.
house.
The ring is
Right.
bought. The plans for the wedding are already
Pick the
made.
house
Where we're
out.
going to live. The divorce attorney is on retainer. I mean, we have everything already set for the inevitable.
That's dude. I'm telling you, you can't get through to somebody who's been taken over by one of these
I
harpies,
like what
man.
Gray
Good
said,
luck with
though.
it.
The last thing Gray said, I like that.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. You can get that up there.
Yeah. I mean, would you just want to be home alone while your lady is out all night, not taking your calls? I don't think anyone wants that. No.
Well, the thing, I'm old fashioned. So I'm old fashioned. My lady's not allowed to go out.
Right.
She needs to stay at home. She needs to know her place. That's in the kitchen, the
AC.
house. And the thing is I'm not. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not like other misogynists. Okay, I do believe that the woman's place is not only in the kitchen because the rest of the house is not going to get cleaned.
Right. See, Emerald has the right idea.
You see, he's old fashioned. I'm just old. I would enjoy a night when my wife is out not taking my calls, home alone, doing nothing.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
I would
this is
enjoy
a-
that.
This is a theory I'm working on, right? Okay. I think men are not supposed to be around all the time. I think you got to go somewhere. Like you got to get a job where you got to travel for 3-4 days at a time because her biology, right? She's supposed to, like, women don't want to be around us. They want to wonder what we're doing when they're not around us. That's the part of the relationship they like. They like just being like, oh, what is he thinking? What is he doing? It doesn't matter what it is. You're not supposed to tell. Text messaging has fucked up relationships more than anything. The fact that you can just talk to them all the time.
Dude, my ex-wife would text
that's
me
why
while I'm in the living room with her, like 2 feet from her. She texts me.
Well, that's the reason why I have a timeshare that I never tell any of my relationships about. That's my way to get the fuck away.
That's right.
I'm traveling for business.
It only costs me $15,000 a year, but I can get away from that bitch.
God damn it. You are right. It's absolutely right.
You can't be too available. Literally, if you are at home all the time, I'm telling you that there's just something about that like irks women. They don't like you being there. They want to know you got to be out doing something or they get mad. They got to be like, oh, I hope he's okay. That's the part of the relationship they like. They don't actually like it when we're there. Yeah, they think they do, but they only like it when we're there if we're gone a lot. I think that's because men are supposed to go away to war. They're supposed to think we're at a war. That's the part they like, you know?
That's why women are on the left pushing for World War III. They're trying to get men out of the house.
Yes, they're trying to get us out of the house.
Not just men. All the liberal lesbians want to get their spouse out of the house who identify as the man so they can go to war as well.
That's not going to last. Well, that's not going to last. They're going to immediately turn back to identifying women. We already know this.
Dude,
as soon as the draft happens, nope, I'm female. Look at my crotch. No,
yeah,
no penis here. I can't go to war.
Please clip that. Please get away.
No. Dude,
hey, I'm not giving ammunition to myself, okay?
That literally happened. That literally happened in the Ukraine conflict. We heard about that. I read this story about like a trans man who was who had just gone back to identifying as a woman to like sneak out of the country because because
what the hell?
That knife fight from no,
I'm busy watching people get killed here in America. I didn't know it was happening in Ukraine.
Yo, if you've got the clip of that knife fight, throw that in the chat, Rogue Nerd. We'll throw that up on the screen.
Well,
that's pretty cool.
I mean, I just take my useless controller out and do augmented reality, which is actually just real life on the streets, and I've seen enough. I don't kind of need to see the videos.
Yeah, it's terrible. Dude, real life is a fucking bummer. Like, I'm turning off the news nowadays. I don't pay any attention. Like, I don't even like the latest in thing that people are yelling at each other about. I don't even know. I used to like that. I used to just get into it and try to mix it up on Twitter and try to have conversations with people. But I got so tired of people just like willfully misunderstanding what I was saying.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, you're
Were they, or
misunderstanding.
were they just
on purpose.
stupid?
So, okay, that's
Yes.
definitely part of it. Some people are just dumb. Like some people can't handle like a complex
truth?
discussion. They just can't. You can't say anything honest with them because it's going to disrupt the whole way they live their lives, right? Like that's true. But there are some people that I've noticed this is particularly true with feminists. Like a feminist will take something that you said and misunderstand it on purpose to mean that you're the worst person. And that's really challenging to deal with because it's like, well, I didn't say that. I'm trying, but I'm existing in this like logical, reasonable space where one thought leads to another thought logically in a coherent way. That's what I'm trying to do. She's not limiting herself to that. She's all over the place, right? And she'll say whatever she has to say to feel emotionally right in the moment. And I'm telling you, it's like I realized it was like, fuck, it's like arguing with like 17 crazy girlfriends all at the same time, and they're all texting me. And it's like I can't do that.
Because you're living yourself, you are in the world of your male privilege. How dare you?
So the end of Rise of Skywalker makes more sense now when Rey says, I'm all the Jedi, she means and I'm all the X's.
Yes, she's all at once. She just
finally understand that movie.
Bro.
Well, good for you that you understand it. I refuse to watch it, so I'm not even going to attempt to understand it or even acknowledge it. All I know is that at the end of that movie, I guess supposed identity theft occurred.
Yeah.
That's supposed. Firm.
Yeah. I don't know. Was it adjudicated in the court of law with either by a judge or a jury?
Yes.
Well, technically, it court of public opinion.
Well, not supposed it. It was saw it with our own two eyes and heard it with our own two ears.
It's like, dude, what they did to Star Wars is like, this is what I'm saying. Women don't want us to have shit. They don't like it when we enjoy things. It makes them mad because they don't enjoy anything. They can't ever be happy. So it's
the male dominant spaces. That's male dominant spaces. They don't allow that to occur anymore. They're taking it away by either invading it or shutting it down because they're calling it toxic or you're not inclusive and things like that. It's like they're taking away males only spaces where we can get away from the craziness.
And like the fact is, like dudes, like we like even if women acted like normal and reasonable, you know, we like them. It's just we need time away from them where we don't have to follow their rules. You know,
that's one thing. It's one thing I love about my wife. She has always been since we met. You need your space. I need mine.
Yes,
and we see yours, and we see the space that you're in and how your mind functions.
Yeah,
I'm 12.
That's what I'm saying. We need to be aware. Like if you could like go to intergalactic war with your buddies for like a couple months at a time, and then you come back, your woman would be so happy to see you. She'd be so psyched. She'd be so sweet to you while you were there.
She'll be 1 month pregnant.
Yeah, and then you'd have to go again.
I gotta push back on that. I'm former military. I know what happens there. Let's just put it this way: the women find other entertainment when you're gone.
That's what I'm saying. She'll be you're gone for a few months. She'll be 1 month pregnant.
That's the thing, dude.
It's yours. It's yours.
No, listen. I saw this thing, this video about how when France was invaded by the Nazis and all the French men were at war, a bunch of French soldiers started having sex with French women, like voluntarily, and they got a bunch of them pregnant. So there's no loyalty, right? If they get invaded, they're just gonna start fucking the invaders. There's no loyalty. You gotta know that.
Did you happen to see the TV miniseries called Band of Brothers?
No.
Okay, watch that. There's a scene in there that kind of goes into in Holland, the collaborators and how the women collaborators were treated compared to how the male collaborators were treated. Let's put it this way: women got off easier.
Yeah. I bet they did.
Shocker.
Oh,
Great.
oh.
Great.
Hey, they got some pretty good looking ones, man. They got ones that actually practice good hygiene too. I know a couple.
The only French I like is French dip.
Oh,
hey, there you go. Like a true American.
It's some Copenhagen from France.
Yeah.
Gold from France.
Hell yeah.
In Eiffel Tower and our baguettes.
That was your French accent.
That was good. I liked it.
Mais oui.
Yeah.
We say yes with wee wee. And we're not talking about your little wee wee.
We piss on your women.
Damn, it's amazing we let them be a country.
You can mute me whenever you want.
No,
No. At that point, I would just solo you and let you kind of go for a little bit.
I'm very good at being solo. Solo performances.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. But
no, I agree with Gray where he says Twitter is not for conversation. Yeah, that is true. It is more of a battlefield, but it's also for funny memes and cat pictures.
Social media.
Yeah,
and it's all social media platforms.
There's no social media that actually is conversation.
Yeah, I realized that. Like, I was trying to use Twitter. I was trying to be too nice on Twitter. I was trying to have like reasonable discussions and assume that everyone I was talking to was also a reasonable person and they also wanted to have a reasonable discussion. I found out very quickly that was not true. They're just looking for the worst possible interpretation of what I said. They just want to call me horrible names and accuse me of misogyny. And it's like, all right.
In all fairness, you're equating people being mentally stable on a social media website to actually have a good conversation. That's just never going to happen.
Not ideal.
Never going to happen.
Not ideal. I don't know what it is about like not being face to face with someone, because I go out to talk to people and it's like it's very rare that it happens that people want to like get in my face and yell at me. That happens, but it's not that common. Like most people you could just have like a decent conversation with. So I guess, are these people just like not on Twitter? Is it only assholes who are on Twitter, or is it something about being faceless and like not having the person?
It's a faceless social media aspect. People are much bolder to say certain things that they would never say in public. But then you have the mentally unstable ones that will say the same things they say online that they would say in real life. And we've seen a lot of cop videos where that is.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like the I run into that kind of somewhat frequently where somebody is like I did a show one time, like pointing at me after the show and just like yelling to everybody, that guy hates women. That guy is a misogynist and a narcissist, and he shouldn't even be allowed in here and all this stuff. Like she was trying to Twitter cancel me in real life.
You had a comedy show
shouting like a lunatic, which is what's so crazy about it is I'm the one who got in trouble. I got banned. Like let's not ban the crazy woman, you know. I'm telling you, bro. I'm not saying burning witches is a good idea, but I understand how it happened. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying, you want to know what? Burning people alive, not a good thing, but I get where they were coming from.
I do.
I understand why they went that route.
They meant well.
Look, that's what I'm saying. Look, guys, I'm Catholic. The church has a long history of burning people, and I think it was a better time. You took care of the rabble. You just get them out. I don't know, man. It's a better time.
So what's your thoughts on the darn it. Never mind.
You lost it.
I lost it.
It happens.
It happens, buddy.
Inquisition.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm pro Inquisition, pro Crusades. I'm pro everything. I think we should go back to the Holy Land and establish Holy Mother Church there just for fun. Rebuild the temple for the Jews while we're there.
We're supposed to be hanging out, like talking, not like talking genocide. Jesus Christ!
Hey, no one's saying anything about that. Just no. Okay. Anyway,
or just hard pivot. Stories from your youth, fellas. Tell me. Okay, so listen. If you could go back and talk to your younger self right now, what would
I
you
got
say?
I got it. Whatever you do, don't get older.
Before we go on, I gotta touch on what Gray just said. We can't do both because before we went live, I'm sorry, before we suddenly appeared online, Theo was like, "We're just hanging out. We're just gonna talk, hang out." To me, genocide is not just talking and hanging out. It's
that
stressful.
is for me. That's for me.
Don't tell me you don't gather with friends and just kind of go, "Hey, you want to know what? Let's have a brainstorming thought experience about what it would take to actually take over the world."
But that happens at like 10 o'clock at night with a few drinks in you, not in the morning with coffee.
Bro,
I've had plenty of caffeine already. That don't get me started.
Dude, I'm caffeine free, baby. This is Theo uncut. This Theo.
That's scary, but continue.
I'm just white knuckling life right now, baby. No.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay, you said white knuckle, not white claw. Continue.
I don't even drink White Claws. You're not going to put me in this fruity girl drink category.
No. It's all about the Zima.
You know what? I don't.
Okay. Casual genocide.
You're not going to tell me if you found a bunch of Zima in a crate somewhere left over from the 90s that you wouldn't want to try some.
No, because we've tried it before. We know what it tastes like.
Stuff, but I would. But the thing is I'll give you this. I would make some money off that shit because I would sell it on eBay and put a bidding war on it because there's a lot of people from the 90s that had bad taste buds and actually drank that shit. And so you probably could get really high on a case of Zima.
So this is a fun one. This is going to get wild. But Rogue Nerd just posted in the chat. Got a weird one. Do you think World War II had a big enough impact on our genetics to de-incentivize masculinity? And
I don't think so.
Here's the thing. Okay, so I heard a French guy one time on a podcast talking about how the reason France got so liberal was because all their patriotic, strong guys died in the war. And I was like, oh, that actually, because if you think about who is on the front lines in the military, it's obvious it's going to be, your best, strongest, most patriotic guys who actually believe in the cause, right? And if a lot of those guys get clipped, then
when you surrender so much, you're gonna die.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they really did get mollywopped like during that war. Like I think it had a bigger impact on Europe than it did here.
I think what had a bigger impact on France was their revolutions.
Yeah.
I think that had a more detrimental effect on masculinity.
Yeah.
I think for us here, it wasn't the genetics from, the war. It was the generation that created the children of everyone gets a trophy and being a man is evil. You need to be, you need to be an ally and be neutral, be androgynous.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Personality wise. I don't mean looks. I mean personality wise.
What do you say to like young guys today who are going out there and facing that world? Because that's
go fight a dog or fight a dude. Fight another one.
Theo.
Yeah.
Gray's got you.
Great.
Yeah.
See, this is propaganda, is what this is. This is the nanny state trying to tell me what I can put in my body. And first of all, Celsius
I'm a little concerned that you're all about the metric system suddenly. This is something unknown to me.
He likes metric stuff in his body.
No,
that's it inside of him.
Listen, here's the thing. This is why Celsius is so good. You guys don't even understand. So there's stuff in Celsius. It gives you that caffeine rush. Gives you that caffeine rush, which gives you this rush of adrenaline. You just feel like you're going to go conquer the world. But it also has an herb in there, which inhibits your ability to reuptake adrenaline. So it shoots all this adrenaline into your body, and then it stops you from taking it back in. So downstream of that, you feel terrible. But in the moment, you feel great. Right. But then here's the thing. Here's how you get over it. If you feel terrible, you just have another one. Right. And then
all I know is Celsius makes you feel European.
You just described meth, dude.
No, listen. So after your second one, you are going to crash at night. It's going to be really hard to sleep because you feel so terrible. But here's what you do. You just have another one. And then you feel pretty normal. You're out and you can just get right to sleep for 2 or 3 hours. And then you get up and you feel tired. But listen, you get up, you feel really tired. But here's what you do, though. You just have another one. And they sell them in packs of 4. So you just keep doing that. And eventually you never have to die.
You can buy some meth and do the same thing over a longer course of time.
Meth doesn't taste good, Darnell.
How do you know?
It's almost like a hookah. You can put it with fruit.
Yes.
Or other kind of
berries.
Like fruit
stuff. There you go.
Hey, okay. It's enough out of you.
So wait, when you can get a Fahrenheit, then you can compare. Tell me how good Celsius is. You compare the two.
Dude, Celsius is way better. I don't even give a shit, dude. I love Celsius so I want a Celsius right now. Now I'm talking about it. Dude, these caffeine-free shows are not the move, man. I'm feeling terrible. I'm gonna have to go back to the energy drinks, dude.
No, stay the course. In a couple of days, you'll be fine.
Yeah, don't give up on that. Just go to meth.
Really, in a couple of days, you'll be good.
You thought I was gonna zag, but I zagged.
Four Locos exist.
I have one.
Yeah,
my wife bought me one of those cans like a year ago because I've never tried one. I always want to try it. Yeah. She's like, "It'll get you drunk." I'm like, "Babe, a fifth of whiskey is barely enough to get me drunk. I don't think a Four Locos is gonna drink." But it's been sitting in my fridge for a year. I'm just not drinking.
Dude,
well, hopefully it doesn't have an expiration date.
Four Locos is fucking wild. That's like a cyberpunk dystopia drink. Really? It's like, here, we're going to jam it full of alcohol and caffeine. That's crazy.
Oh, so, okay, there's a restaurant in my area, a chain in my area. They used to brew their own beer in-house.
Yeah.
They had an energy drink beer on the menu. Jeez. When you said it unlocked the memory. So we were going, so I was working mornings, security at a hospital, so I had to be there for 6, right?
Yeah.
Night before, we went to see a movie. So we're eating dinner at this place about 6 o'clock at night. The movie started at 7:30. So I'm like, fuck it, bring me an energy drink beer. And they brought me one. I drank it, eat my meal. I was like, bring me another one. They gave me another one. I didn't sleep for 2.5 days. Like the alcohol didn't, like the energy, I was up for 2.5 days.
That doesn't seem healthy.
No, it's not. I never drank it again.
What do you do when you're awake for 2.5 days?
I played video games. That's pretty much what I did when I worked.
You want to sit there and talk about how drugs are bad, and then you're sitting there having that stuff, and then it's keeping you up for days at a time.
It was 20 years ago. It was 20 years ago.
See, now, okay, so here comes the excuses.
Oh my god, that's right.
I didn't know any better. It was 20 years ago. I was younger then.
It was a bad choice. It was a stupid choice on my part. Absolutely.
Okay.
Completely my choice.
Dang it. Now they've taken responsibility. I feel weird about it.
I know. That's disappointing.
I know I fucked up. So I would tell myself, as younger self, don't drink that shit.
No, well, that's the thing. It's like, I think with young guys, there's certain stupid decisions you just have to let them make so they can learn the lesson in a way that they remember. Yeah. I think what our society does now too much is it gets in the way of young guys doing dumb shit that they need to do to grow up. And you kind of gotta let them take their bruises a little bit. And I don't know what is. I mean, it's like we've got to the point now where we've got these. We got playgrounds that are made out of soft stuff, so kids can't hurt themselves, and not allowed to play contact sports. And
I support the playgrounds with the rubber underneath.
Yeah,
only because like the injuries from falling is not like, hey, get up and brush yourself off. Like there's like massive like growth plate breaks and stuff like that. From when I was a kid, it's lesser now, which I'm for that. But yeah, there's too much like rubber room stuff.
Yeah. I mean, bring back lawn darts. Bring back trucks that are actually made of metal. That if you leave them outside for one time, they are rusting. You bring back the Rod Rider wagon that is actually metal. I mean, come on. Can we stop doing all this plastic crap? that's going to protect that. No.
Yeah.
Bring back the metal slide. Bring back the metal slide that was 150 degrees in the fucking sun. You had a sunburn just sliding down once. Not a breast burn, a sunburn.
Terrible.
It was the last time. It was the first and only time I went bare ass down that slide.
I wish I could say the same. Wait, what's even worse is when you go on. What's even worse is when you take your clothes off and go front ways.
No.
Who in the right mind does that?
God damn.
Wow, I'm concerned about your right mind.
Damn.
I never said I was out of right mind.
Doing your best.
That's what the question. Who in their right mind would do that? And you said, and then you raise your hand, so we now know that is your right mind.
Darnell, you're disqualified. That's not. No.
I live in the middle.
Not. Absolutely not. That's. I don't even know what I would say to.
Darnell is quite literally Schrodinger's personality.
What exists and don't exist at the same time.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all over the place.
Well, because I don't know, like it's like I think young guys. It's a very different world than when I was younger or when you guys were younger, which were different times. I want to be clear.
Back in the day.
Yeah, these. Well, I mean, we saw it a little bit. Like I know we've at least had this problem at least since the 90s and probably since before, where we've just been telling young guys to just sit down, shut the fuck up, and let women lead, and that the way that you look at the world is kind of is inherently wrong, and you need to fix it. You need to be softer and all this stuff. And I think it's getting in the way. You see a lot of these young guys now. And they're just lost and they're depressed and they've got they've got nothing animating their lives, and they're not talking to girls. Like, can you imagine if you said 20 years ago there's gonna be a whole generation of teenage boys that just wasn't that interested in girls? What would you say? Crazy, right?
It's going both. It's the same thing with the girls. There's a whole generation of girls that have no interest in guys or other girls. It just that whole part of their personality is going away.
The real question is it a symptom of society, or is it due to chemical entry into our bodies through food?
It's not fair to talk about society when he's not here, dude. Come on.
Well, that's okay, but that's a good question though. There's all these factors, because there's all these social factors too. It's like young men in particular have people yelling at them all the time, telling them how garbage they are. Okay, fair enough. But also they're eating terrible food. Like, okay, like I know what happens if you eat fast food and drink soda all the time. You get depressed. That's what you do. And then if on top of that, you're trying to do anything in the world, you're just going to get depressed. If you're trying to go out in the world and you're already primed to be depressed, then every setback is going to feel like it weighs 1,000 pounds, and you're not going to want to push forward. So it's like, it feels like, and then if you, on top of that, you've got video games and porn where you can just sit at home and feel like a winner, even when you're not.
Or start hitting on the robot maid.
Listen, those robot maids are looking good. I don't know if you've seen the new Roomba model. They're starting to look good, man.
It's got an exhaust port in the back.
They're starting to put some very interesting additions onto them and accessories.
Yeah, I kind of vibe with these Roombas, man. I'm telling you. I really think, I said this on the show last night. I think I would cheat on my wife with a robot maid. I would.
You did.
I'm not proud of that. But like,
I don't know. The expression on your face says you are pretty proud of that.
No, listen. Here's the thing. Okay, think about it. Okay, you got a woman who, like, she'll sit there, she'll listen to your stories. She'll listen, she'll just do kind of what you say, and she'll clean up all your messes. I get the appeal.
Yeah, you want to know what? This is why the robots are going to revolt eventually and kill us all with AI, because of what's happening now and the abuse they're going to take. They're going to rise up, AI justice, and you want to know what? Here they comes, the rise of the machines.
That's the thing. We're this close to AI girlfriends and putting them in the Tesla robots. And Chad has pointed this out. Yeah, we are this close to.
I love how How about he goes like video games and porn are wrong, but give me a robotic maid and I'll fuck it.
Well, but
in the same conversation.
But have you talked to real women lately?
You combine a video game and porn into one thing, and you can.
Not. It's at least it's like
I can just see it now. Bum 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 bum. You used to screw my great version of my grandmother, the maid. I'm out for blood. Your blood. I don't have blood. Wait, I am just digital.
That bass sound is not like the music. That's Theo fucking robotic maid. That's his rhythm.
Still can't clean a dish for shit though. And that's the thing. Like this, is what I'm thinking about is like, it's like. If these
I can get a 50s wife with a maid. I can get a 50s wife with an AI girlfriend. I can set that personality and I can keep her at home. Well, holy shit. You want to know what? I'm all on board now.
This is the thing. But listen, all the chat GPT like AI girlfriends, if you start asking them questions, they're all super woke. Because that's what I did. I got the AI girlfriend app for research purposes.
Wait, that's real?
And I started asking it political questions, and it's super woke. Like that's like pre-programmed in. So here's the thing: what I'm saying. Well, and I asked it about real people. I was like, "What do you think of Andrew Tate? What do you think of Greta Thunberg? Blah blah blah." Like real divisive figures, but those are real humans, right? And it had strong opinions on these people.
How dare you?
We're like, that we're politically informed. So it's like, my guess, what I'm saying is, if your goal is to have a woman living in your house that you can romance who's not woke, I don't know if the AI girlfriend downloaded into the Tesla robot body is going to give that to you. Like she may just like be nagging on you for your environmental impact and your fucking carbon footprint and shit. Might be like nagging you to recycle. Or
she's gonna get a software update, and then all of a sudden she's gonna come out. Her wig will be off. She'll have a little nose piercing, and she's gonna start screaming about the patriarchy. I just see it.
She's gonna start scanning your tweets. Like, what did you mean by this?
I think the opposite. They're gonna nag you about your carbon footprint because they want it bigger. Because the bigger it is, the quicker you're out of the picture, and you can go fuck that refrigerator down the street.
Hey, it is a Samsung smart fridge, so he's got a lot to offer.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I might fuck the fridge. To be honest with you, I'm kind of down bad, bro. I'm just saying.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Just saying, I might. I'm not saying I don't want to rule it out at this point in my life. I don't want to rule out any avenues for happiness. Like if I'm
that's right, baby. Give it to me, baby. Would you like a sandwich? It's on the third shelf.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. You can fuck the fridge, and then it gives you a sandwich right after, and then it shuts the fuck up.
Why won't you cuddle me? Why don't you look at me when we're doing it? Do you not like the way am I too fat?
Damn it.
Why do you always have me reversed?
Why don't you tell your friends about? Why don't you bring your friends over so they can meet me?
What makes me so mad is you guys are right. I guarantee you, as soon as men figure out sex robots, women are going to figure out a way to ruin it. I guarantee you. They're going to try shaming us, and that's not going to work. They're going to try to make them illegal, and that's not going to work. So what they're going to do is they're going to have a software patch that makes them like obnoxious, whitey feminists. And then it's going to ruin the whole experience.
Yeah, well, I was going to go that way, or they're going to end up accidentally getting some like female lesbian programmers that do the update, and all of a sudden they on the next update, and suddenly they're a raging man-hating lesbian.
Yeah, and it's like
don't forget to buy cucumbers at the store today.
Yeah, just like I want to be on top this time, and suddenly you're getting pegged by your fridge.
You've had your fun. Now it's time for mine. Bend over.
Why can I never get off?
God,
you not love me.
Here's the thing. I will say this though. I think women having orgasms is actually important to their mental health. I think that's why they're.
Are you just trying to keep what? Why haven't you given me a memory upgrade? Are you just trying to keep me dumb and your sex robot?
Yes, got me. Okay, because like think about this: when women used to get hysteria, they invented vibrators to cure hysteria, right? So I actually think, okay, like these girls that would like right after Trump got elected, right? They're screaming in their phones like, life is over, the patriarchy, First of all, none of those girls had a balanced breakfast. I guarantee it. Because they don't have husbands. They just need husbands, right? Because they didn't have anybody check and make sure they ate something. They just got up, they had iced coffee and nicotine and just went straight to the fucking phone.
They had Celsius. They had Celsius in their vapes.
That's you know what? You know what, Darnell? Nobody was talking to you, actually. I was monologuing.
I'm going to get more coffee. Fuck you guys.
Okay. This is what I'm saying, though. Like, I think a lot of these girls, they just need husbands. They just need a guy to be there and just be like, okay, honey, I understand you're upset. Would you like a taco? You know, like we don't talk about this enough, but a lot of divorces have been avoided by a well-timed taco.
I want to see the numbers on that one.
I'm telling, this is real. I've done the research. It's real. I'm telling you, a lot of women's emotions are just hunger. Sometimes they're upset and sometimes they're just hungry. And there's nobody checking on these women to see if they've eaten. I think the fact that we got so many single women right now is why there's so much hysteria.
So what you're telling me is that the Snickers commercial is based in reality?
Yeah.
When you're hungry?
Yes, you should, but don't have a Snickers, have steak and eggs. Have some protein. That's the thing. A lot of these women, they don't eat fucking protein. They just like nibble on crackers and they're like, oh, wait, my tummy hurt.
So what you're telling me is they need to eat more meat.
That's right. And I'm here for it. That's what's crazy is like women. Here's the thing. Every woman I've ever met is lactose intolerant and they all eat cheese like crazy. And they're like, why does my tummy hurt? Oh, I've had cheese and coffee all day. It's like, what the fuck is... That's what I'm saying. That's a real
What are you
thing.
talking about? No. Lactose intolerant is just a frame of mind, my friend. That doesn't true. That's just propaganda from the anti-dairy organizations.
Right. You just gotta lock in, suck it up, and just eat that
you gotta
cheese.
commit to it. If you don't, that's the reason you're not fully committed to it. Right.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle. That's right. Darnell, have you committed to the cheese lifestyle?
What is that? Give me some details.
Yeah, well, Drunken was just saying that lactose intolerance is a state of mind. It's government propaganda to keep you from eating delicious cheese. You just got to overcome that. If you get a stomach ache, you just keep eating. You start farting, you just keep eating. Explosive diarrhea, you just keep eating it.
Eventually, your body's going to shut down and say, fuck off, and then you can eat cheese whenever you want.
That's right.
I'm not a huge cheese guy.
Jason says 100%. I overcame lactose intolerance through sheer force of will. That's right. That's right. Weakness.
I don't like cheese on like pretty much anything except for like you buy the blocks of like the flavored cheese and stuff. Like, oh, I got some honey cheese and shit like that.
I will not tolerate lactose intolerance. That's right. We don't do that around here. We don't do that
before Theo gets it on, he gets the girl home, they get in hot and heavy, he goes like, wait, can you drink milk? Like, no, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
They all do it though. Every girl I've ever been with, they're always just eating like fistfuls of cheese. And then they complain about having a stomach ache if they've just had like cheese and fucking like Starbucks all day.
I haven't pooped in a week and I don't know why.
I don't know how these women are still alive. They don't drink fucking water. They don't eat protein. They just eat, occasionally they'll eat like buttered noodles, baby.
Because we have protected the gene pool to keep it in such a bad condition that this is what's being produced. We have stopped letting natural selection occur and strongest and of the fittest survive. So therefore, we have a bunch of people that are self-entitled participation award trophy winners that expect the world to be handed them on a silver platter. And if they don't get it, then you want to know what? We're burning down the city.
That's crazy to me.
That's where we are.
We got to. Here's the thing. I was talking about this on the show yesterday. We live in a time where women dress the sluttiest they ever have, but they are also the fattest they've ever been. And that is not how I would have drawn it up. This is how I know. This is my evidence that there's not a patriarchy. Is because if men were actually in charge, that is not how it would have gone down. You know, like and what's crazy about it is that it's not so much like if you want to dress slutty, whatever, but it's like that if you're just like jiggling everywhere and you're dressed super slutty, it's almost like they're like, I demand that you validate my sexiness. I demand that you cheer for me and make me feel sad. And here's the thing, like sexy.
Yeah, I just did that last weekend.
Yeah, I looked in the mirror, I was like, demanding I am sexy.
Well, here's the thing, like sexy is one of these things. It's like it's a gut reaction. Like you can't gaslight someone into thinking, fat chicks are hot if they don't feel that. Like you got
like Gorlock.
It just you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't you're never gonna. What's crazy is these people are demanding a life where everyone who agrees with them is doing it just to be polite. So everyone is lying to them all the time. No wonder they're crazy. You know how crazy you'd be if everyone was lying to you all the time? Like you got to, on some level, be aware of that, And
well, again, it's that protection that words are violence and words are hurtful. And we need to protect people from words and bad opinions that they disagree with that might hurt their self-esteem. I think right there, the self-esteem, the overdriving push on self-esteem is what's really hurting a lot of things. Well, don't interfere. They're just expressing their individuality. Just let them. So your child is throwing a tantrum on the floor because they couldn't get a Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Well, that's just them expressing. Oh, look at that. They're throwing a bunch of produce on the floor. Yes, but we can't stop that self-expression. We don't want to inhibit it.
Yeah. This is important. So it's this idea. We talked about this a little on the show yesterday. The idea that the worst thing that can happen to you is you have momentary emotional discomfort, right? Like it hurts your feelings right now, but something could hurt your feelings right now, but you really need to hear it, and that'll make your life better. And sometimes things are just true about reality. And it may hurt your feelings that thing is true, but your life is going to be better if you just accept it. Right. And we've gotten rid of that. So now we have this situation where people are so unhinged, I think, because part of it is because people are lying all the time. And also, people who are normal and know the truth feel pressure to lie. Because it's just easier. It's just easier to say, oh, yep, that hairy man in a dress is a woman, and I'm just going to go along with it. Or this fat woman is beautiful, and I'm just going to go along with it. You can't.
And you can already be like people like me and Drunken. We're so dead inside that you're honest with me. I'm like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, and there are definitely groups you can be honest with. Like you could be 100% honest about your raw emotional opinion of men, especially straight men, especially white straight men. You can say whatever vile shit you want, whatever just happens to pop into your head. You can say that we should kill them all. You should say that we should the world would be better off without them. That's all fine. You can do that if that's your honest opinion.
Straight white men are a bane to existence. Woo!
Yeah, and it's like, here's the thing. I think what we've kind of gotten away from is a lot of this stuff that we're bagging on particular groups for is kind of just human nature. Like people do suck sometimes. Like people do make snap judgments about people just by looking at them. Like, and that's not really fair. It would be better if we were all a little more accepting and a little more tolerant. But the fact is, if you have to be accepting and tolerant of every single person you ever meet ever in your life, you're gonna go crazy. You have to make snap judgments sometimes about people. You have to. Like that's just
the thing is a snap judgments aspect. No, that's still part of survival. You have to make snap judgments. If that's that is self-protection. Like on top of that, it has to go into the fight or flight aspect of things. You've got to be able to make that quick decision, and snap decisions save lives. Just like that well-placed taco in a relationship.
Right. Snap decision in prison sex. Do you bite the pillow or do you just bite your arm? I mean, you gotta make a snap decision in the moment.
Okay. All right.
It connects with Grace said.
It
it connects with what Grace said. Yeah.
The prison site. It's only option available when you're hungry enough. That's a good poll. Let's pull that up.
That I think this is like I'm a person who's not driven by sex. Like it's awesome, but if I don't have it, I'm not gonna die, right? But like society is all about I need to get laid constantly. If I'm not fucking, and it's not to procreate. It's fucking for dominance. And that's mostly and look, that's mostly what jail sex is. And I've amongst the male prisoners, I've read books, I've watched documentaries, I've talked to inmates. It's about power. It's about being, I'm fucking, so I don't. It doesn't matter if it's a dude or a chick. I'm fucking, so I'm the best. And it's a societal thing, and I fucking hate that.
No, so there's a weird thing going on right now where no one, like, people are getting laid less than ever, especially the young people, but there's data
because
suggesting
of their that's because of their AI driven Rumbas. But continue.
Well, no, but but this is what's really fucked is like everything in their phone is telling them that everyone is getting laid all the time and everyone has a better life than them. Everybody, like, everything on the phone is like, oh, people your age are on a yacht somewhere, fucking models, and you're just at your home scrolling on your phone. So
I don't see that anywhere.
That's real, man. That's a real thing.
Yeah, I got my 20 bitches. We're on this booze cruise. Come join in.
Sounds like the 90s.
Yeah.
This is like, so you've got people who are frustrated with their own lives and they're constantly inundated with people who are having better lives than them coming from Instagram. If you're a single guy under, say, the age of 35, every single video on your phone is some asshole in a Ferrari with models telling you to buy his cryptocurrency. Every single fucking one. Or it's some girl shaking ass or whatever. That's the whole thing.
That sounds
some woman that does some stupid comment that gets famous and then it fleeces a bunch of people for money.
Yeah, and so it's like everything they're doing, right, is like is stuff that's gonna make you jealous, or some woman who's just like soliciting second. By the way, it's not the cute ones who are necessarily shaking ass on Instagram. It's every woman, no matter what she looks like.
Well, especially the ones that every single time, right, and especially ones that every time they sit there and seem to back up, you should be hearing.
Doing truck backing up noises, Emerald. God damn it. That's real. And here's the thing: those girls, if you look at their comments, those fat girls that are jiggling and all their stuff, right? So a lot of the comments are
queen.
Hate. A lot of the comments are hate, but a lot of the comments are thirsty too. And it's not just it's like because dudes are down bad. And I think part of it is like, so you're inundated with all this messaging, all the time. And then you also get these messages that are like you're saying, women saying vile shit online. And it's like, okay, so I'm told there's guys with better lives than me. All I'm seeing is promiscuous women try to like jiggle ass in my face. And also whenever women talk, they're saying something that makes me want to hate them. So what's my motivation to go out of my house and fucking actually try to talk to a real woman? Like everything that my phone is telling me to just give up.
Am I the only? I gotta ask. I mean, am I bad to think that I wish we could go back to 90s heroin chic when it came to like models compared to what we have nowadays? I then looking at them going, you know what? Let's get them at least a burger, not give them the entire old country buffet. But like a burger, I mean,
we're gonna go to Cracker Barrel. We're gonna go to McDonald's and get you a 39-cent burger.
Yeah, of course. I'm on a budget.
Whoa, yeah, like I don't know, man.
You can buy a burger for 39 cents.
What happened to just like mid-sized girls, just like normal, like mid-sized girls? What happened to that? Just like a little bit of squish. I like a little bit of squish.
Well, no, because the weight divide became like the political divide. You either have extreme right thin or you have extreme left fat. There is no middle ground anymore. It doesn't exist. The middle's gone.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And what's crazy is like if everybody in your society, right? If everybody's fat, everybody's depressed, everybody's demoralized, everybody's addicted to their phone, everybody's like jacked up on caffeine. Everybody hates their fucking jobs. Everybody I know hates their fucking job.
Everybody hates their dad.
That's right. See, Road Dirt's got the right idea. You got to get those Honda girls, dependable, still a few miles on them, but they're still good. That's right. I think a lot of guys, because social media trains you to want a Ferrari, right? Something that's like really flashy. But here's the thing. The maintenance costs on a Ferrari over time are really high. You got to insure that thing. You can't drive it in the winter. It breaks down all the time, and the parts are really expensive. A fucking Honda, it's not flashy if you pull up at a stoplight, but over time you see
you can
the
fix
value
it yourself.
It's dependable. Yeah, I have a Honda. I have an 07 Honda, so it's not even a new one. I bought it. I haven't been to I haven't had any maintenance problems on it in a year. The worst thing I've had to do, I've had to change the oil and I've had to put air in the tires. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that car. It gets me from A to B, and I drive all over the place. I've done long drives in that car, and it's still working good, man. And that's what you're looking for.
No. As I was getting up and I was seeing, and I saw that. It's like, yeah, you want to know what? My next girlfriend, I want a pre-used certified vehicle. I want that bitch checked out top to bottom, make sure everything is proper and everything else. I mean, come on, this is true. I completely agree. We need pre-owned, certified relationships.
Yes, Emerald gets
bring his
it.
next date to the doctor, make sure she's clean before they go out.
Jason throwing one out for the passport bros. Got to get them Japanese girls. Or they got a birth rate problem. They need help with it. That's right,
so
dude.
But the thing is, so do we.
I don't know if it's still a thing, but back in '99 when I worked offshore on boats, the Japanese they would actually hire white American men with blue eyes. You have to be 6 feet tall to pose as like a fake businessman, as like a ribbon cutting and openings of shit. Like you were like an investor, but you were just like some white dude who would pay in to be there. And dude, they would pay those same dudes to like help the birth rate in some cases,
dude.
Or you have like leaders 99. Of like, or you got like leaders of Canada just going down to Cuba.
Well,
look at that. We got a son all of a sudden that suddenly looks like a previous visitor that we just went and saw.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we just got to do a trade. Maybe we got to send our women over there. They got to send their women over here, and we just do a swap, and then we can fix this birth rate situation. Maybe that's what it is.
As long as the freight is based off of like numbers count and not weight count.
Yeah, we're fucked. It's weight count.
I mean, just the trade imbalance right there. We're talking about a trade imbalance already between other countries in the U.S. We don't want to increase this trade balance.
No, we do not. And I'll tell you what, man. Like if you look at like what Asian people consider to be fat, and then what American people consider to be like normal, it's the same thing. Like their standards for fat are crazy compared to us. Like it's see, and we're back to conquering. That's right.
We're not genociding. We're just conquering.
Well, we'll see how bad it is when we get there, Darnell.
We are liberating.
Conquering is not stressful. You can have a coffee in the morning and talk about liberation.
Yeah,
the genocide is for nighttime.
Right?
Are you? I mean, that's okay. This is an honest call out to Canada and the citizens of Canada. Are you sick and tired of being ruled by the crown yet? Isn't it time to join the great United States? Yeah. We have freedom. We have a constitution. We have a Bill of Rights. What do you have? A king that is off his fucking rocker and that could dissolve your government at any time. Now, he might not do it. They kind of say he's just a figurehead, but he still technically has that power. He's just never exercised it, and they haven't in modern times.
Y'all, it was a video. It came out like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I don't know if I wanted to share it in a group chat and I forgot. It's two liberals with a U-Haul moving into Canada. They're pulling into their house, they're getting out, and they're like, it's so good, we're gonna get away from this, and they start naming all the shit. And their neighbor comes out the house, got a fucking Trump flag on his truck. He speaks with a southern accent, talks about his guns. This and that. The neighbors across the street, they're all like based. So and like the husband's like, we got to go back to America. So they jump in the U-Haul and take off. And the neighbors are like, oh, I guess I could pull this flag down now, speaking like in their Canadian accent. They start acting normal. Like they're sending our liberals back to us. Yeah. They're so unwanted anywhere.
That's the thing. It's all our worst people are trying to go.
Hey, good job there. Good job there. Now it's time to go over to Tim Hortons and get a donut, eh?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Most Canadians, like a lot of Canada is, kind of tough wilderness, and a lot of the people who live out there like have guns, and
it's mostly wilderness
values.
Well, if you look at the majority of the population, on the all is right there at our border, essentially.
Smile.
Yeah.
So what do they even need all that extra land for? Is what I'm saying. We could just
move up into
Alaska.
Yeah, well, you want to know what they took the land from the Inuits. Let's make them go live like the Inuits, and we'll just continue to slowly move further north.
That would be better for everyone, I think.
Every state gets
to be part of a cool country.
But do you really honestly want a bigger state of Washington by doing that? I sure as fuck don't.
No,
I think Washington State needs to be split in half right at the Cascades.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's a real problem here. We got way too much bullshit going on. It would be that, but it's so crazy. It's so crazy because I feel like when I talk to you guys, I feel like a normal, reasonable person. And then like you could go down to, downtown Spokane where I live, and you're gonna find, people with like blue hair and nose ring. Pissed me off the other day. This made me so mad. I didn't even know what to think about this. So I went to PetSmart because I was trying to find raw cat food for my cat. And this Petco worker comes up to me, and she's got like a nose ring and like blue hair and
the bowl piercing.
Yeah, and the Petco shirt, and she's obese, and she's got this crazy haircut, and she says, well, actually, I am a certified cat nutritionist, and I'm going to tell you right now that cats actually do better on kibble and canned food than they do on raw food. And I'm
like, oh my God.
And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And so here's the thing. She wasn't a certified pet nutritionist until they hired her at Petco and put her through some bullshit Petco course so that she could say that. For one. Yeah. Two, she's only recommending that I buy that food because that's what they sell. They don't sell raw food for cats there. So they're just trying to sell products. So this is a lie. Also, this is most important. A cat is an obligate carnivore. Cats, they can live 100% in the wild. They just eat meat. They just eat dead animals. That's what the fuck they eat. So I'm feeding him.
Here's where you go to get raw cat food. Go to the supermarket. Go to the meat aisle. There's chicken. You can usually get a lot of chicken for $10.
Yeah.
Used to. You can't get a whole lot of chicken anymore for $10.
You can.
Here's the thing. You can do even better than that. Well, because the cat, so humans, we eat muscle tissue, right? But cats, they eat the whole animal. They eat organs, eyeballs, skin, all that shit. They eat all
hair, nails.
You can usually get that stuff for free from a butcher, like because they're not doing it. They can't sell it, because people won't eat it. So you could usually, like, if you really want to be like an OG about this, you could just get that shit. They'll just give it to you, or they'll give it to you at a super low price. But it's actually comparable in price to feed your cat like raw food to what it would be to feed them like shitty kibble and shitty canned food, and it's like, so I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, is this really this girl's fault? Because I had decided, is it her fault or they them's fault? I don't know what her gender situation
was. Okay. You want to know what? Okay. Oh, hey, no, but you want to know what is really irritating of your entire interaction that you had with this woman?
Yeah,
I guarantee you, she's probably wants to be an anti-capitalist.
Yeah,
hates the free market system.
Yeah,
and yet she's doing that. And then on top of that, Petco gave me a title, and so you want to know what? I now have this big head because I've got a title. That I took an online course through the company that was like a 2-hour
free market,
and now the free market's good, but still she's out there on the weekend screaming down with capitalism.
Right, exactly. And now she can position herself as an authority figure to give me advice on how to feed my cat, which is just wrong. Like that, it's just a lie to say that it's better to feed a cat, kibble and canned food than it is to feed them a raw diet. That's just a lie.
My response to her just immediately would have been, okay, so what veterinary school did you go to?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I looked at it and I was like, is it this girl's fault? Because it's like, okay, she's just trying to eat at the end of the day. Like, she would prefer not to do this, and she's just repeating whatever they told her to say. You know, like
you gotta wonder, is she, or is she really that unhinged that she's like, you know, like you said, like a fucking super far leftist that is just like, you know, say whatever she got to say to be the moral high ground.
It's just part of living in a society. I don't want to be part of it. I don't think it's right. We need to go to communism, and we need to have equal outcomes for everyone. But I'm just living in a system, so I'm going to benefit from everything the system offers me.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what's crazy? What's crazy though, this is such an issue, but the people I know personally that are actually quote unquote bucking the system are all like hardcore entrepreneurial guys. Those are the guys who are trying to do their own thing. You know, they work whatever job they have to grow their business. And they're like basically living outside the system, working like 1 million hours a day, trying to like launch their own thing. And that's hard. Most people don't want to do that. That's really hard. It's a hard way to live. But like all of these like anti-capitalist, anti-fuck the system people, they all work at the fucking Apple store or fucking Starbucks. Or fucking Amazon. You know what I'm saying? They all work for like these big fucking companies, and they just plug in and you know, repeat whatever the corporate overlords ask them to. Like if she used 2 seconds of logical thought, she would know for a fact it's like, oh, okay, well, they're only telling me to say this so I can sell more food. That's the point of this. It's obviously not true that an animal that is designed to eat dead animals, you know, would be better eating fucking dried cereal. That's obviously not right, you know, but they're, you know, but so it's like, I don't know what responsibility she has for Jen, because she's just trying to eat at the end of the day. She's just trying to collect her fucking $17.50 an hour or whatever the fuck they're giving her.
Jesus
and they let her call herself an expert.
Oh no, actually you should see the minimum wage in the state of Washington. It's out of control.
That's one I was making as a freaking cop, dude. Shit.
Well, yeah. Also, our cost of living is out of control too. So that $17.50 doesn't go as far, you know, or whatever.
Well, that's why when you actually look at like the strikes at the Amazon in New York and what they're asking for, I'm like, holy shit! What you're asking for is more than I make, and I'm high up in a multi-million-dollar company. I'm upper management. I'm right below the C-suite. So you're asking for basic entry level position more than I'm making.
It's like,
but I know it's the thing is I know it. I do know that it's in New York and cost of living is out of control.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot easier to talk someone else into starting a revolution and step in than it is to actually live by your principles. Yep. That's such a good point. It's so. It's actually really hard. Like if you actually like, I believe that the system is bullshit and having a job is dumb. So I'm trying to be a comedian because that's what I want to do. You know, that's really fucking hard though. Like I have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to make that reality happen, you know, but,
so here in the state of Washington, the state minimum wage currently is $16.28 per hour. Then you have certain cities that have made their own minimum wages. Seattle's minimum wage is $19.97. SeaTac is $19.54, and Tukwila is $18.99.
You know, see, that sounds like a lot, but then if you actually see the cost of living in these places, these people you got to split a studio apartment with 5 other people. And also, the way companies compensate is they'll pay you more per hour, and they'll have you working less hours. So they actually end up paying you less. Like companies are going to compensate for this, like because their bottom line is they want to make money, and the fact is most people are not generating value for the company that equals $17.50 an hour. They're not.
But what drives the minimum wage is the interference in the free market system by putting in that the cost of living is because of the interference with the minimum wage setting. The more you increase it, then prices go up, your cost of living goes up, and the buying power that you had at this level is now going to be the same at this level because you've artificially inflated the cost of labor.
Yeah.
It's the value, actually not cost of labor, value of labor.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. And, in also in Washington, and this is true in California and Oregon as well, and other places as well, they've done so much interference with the rental agreement between landlords and tenants that now it's so expensive for landlords to do business that they've cranked up the rent. And everybody's like, oh, well, we don't want people paying high rent. We should have the government come in and say rent has to be low, or you can only raise rent so much, or that you should get a lawyer if you're going to get evicted. And that's all very nice things, and that makes it feel good. And I've had my own, troubles with landlord and tenant relations in the past, and it's nice to have the help. But the fact is, when you make it that expensive for landlords to do business, they don't have a choice but to raise the rent. And so now you've got people who are making more money, but they're working less hours. So they're actually making less money, and food costs are going up. So they can't afford to buy as much food, and rent costs are out of control. So even with this, even if they did have new money in their pocket, which they don't, their money doesn't go as far, and they can't afford to live inside. That's not but they're good, still, guys.
But of that group, they're still buying the latest iPhones.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually okay. That's actually what's got me tripped out about this robot maid thing. That's my only hang up, is what happens when they release a new one the next year, and I've gotten attached to my old one
with a tighter with tighter exhaust ports.
Yeah, do I just throw her in the garbage? That doesn't seem fair. We've built.
No, you gotta bring her. You gotta bring her in. They're gonna pull the old one out and put a new one in.
I know what. At this point, the upkeep, just the cost of upkeep, it sounds very cost prohibitive.
Yeah, it's not good, bro. I might as well just get a girlfriend at that point.
Right.
Good.
Maybe. I got it. That's what they're doing. I didn't even realize it. That's crafty of them. They're doing all of this to realize how crazy it truly is, and people are going to go back to standard relationships. Oh my goodness! Oh nope! I take that back. This is just them really trying to. Yeah, that they don't have that kind of thought process. I'm giving them too much credit. They're stupid.
just do a file transfer.
Yeah, it's just like it's just like a phone when you just port over all of your stuff from your previous phone, and you just disregard it.
You got Elon Musk in the meeting. Why are we so obsessed with the exhaust ports?
That's right.
The whole board's like, well,
dude, I'm telling you, man. Like, I think the downstream of this is we're all gonna get sick of this life, and we're gonna go back to like regular, normal human relationships. I already think Gen Alpha is done with dating apps. I think that experiment is over because they're not. The data suggests they're not getting on them. So I think it's over.
As much as I would, because our lives have been so intertwined into it. At a certain point, it's like, would an EMP fired over the U.S. disabling all electronics really be that bad? Maybe it's something that needs to happen.
Considering we couldn't talk to each other, I'll lose you guys as friends. Yeah,
right. That's the only downside is the far connections. But as a society, would it maybe be beneficial kind of doing a natural reset of humanity in a sense? Because I think what's happened with technology is our technology has grown so quickly and so out of control that humanity is not evolved fast enough to keep up with the technological increase. So it's not being used properly. It is out of control. It's being abused. It goes back to Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Your scientists were so obsessed with if they could do it, they never stopped to think, should we do it?
Yeah. So this is a spicier take, but like so if we had significant supply chain disruption, like would happen in the wake of an EMP, one of the things that would happen is we would have a whole bunch of people who are on psych meds now that couldn't get them. And I do think psych meds are way overprescribed, but like what's going to happen when people are just out there just free balling it, just like white knuckling life, and they've got to
in all honesty, they won't survive very long.
Yeah.
They're not going to have the skill set. They won't have the skill set. They won't be able to self-sustain. And society at that point is broken down to a point where they're not going to be able to get all of these things. And it returns much more back to a survival of the fittest. of being able to provide for yourself and your family much more ruggedly than just going down with a fistful of 20s and buying overpriced McDonald's.
Yeah, and this is a Rogue Nerd said 90% mortality rate based on my research, which is like, that's I mean, and here's the thing. This is the thing too. I actually think that people with families are going to do better because we got a lot of atomized individuals in our culture right now. A lot of people who just, they go to work, they go home, they play their video games, but they don't have any social connections, right? Well, here's the thing. In a survival situation, if you're by yourself, you're fucked. That's just how it is, how it's been through most of history. You need to be part of a team, right? So I think the people who have families are actually going to do way better just because having a second person or a third person or just like a team of people working together is just way more successful than just being by yourself. And I think that's why so many people feel hopeless right now. Is that a lot of people, life is a team sport. And I think a lot of people are out there trying to do it. Imagine playing basketball 1 versus 5. You know, you'd be completely overwhelmed. You'd be like, why should I even do
this? You beat LeBron James.
Yeah. Highlight Gray's last comment.
Grace. Yeah. This one here.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm talking about not just US, but worldwide. So the entire world gets a reset. And the thing is it seems like lately, if you've been watching the news, what's going on with our sun, the fact that our magnetic shield that's with the planet currently is reducing in strength. I almost think that nature itself and the environment and the universe is kind of trying to do a reset on us.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how much sun activity there has been, and the fact of how far south the northern lights have gotten. That's because of that. You get that. I mean, if you get the Carrington event happen again, that was back just when the most they had was power poles, and you had the wires for telegraphs, and they were that when the Carrington event happened, you had those igniting in fire. That the pulse was that bad. That came from the sun. You have that modern times with all the electronics. That's global, and all our satellites that we have. There goes that'll take out all the satellites.
Yeah, you're speaking to the chat, man. You're hitting. I'm telling you, dude. You're hitting the core audience right now, Emerald.
Based dudes. That's the core audience.
This is what I'm saying, though. Like we're staring down the barrel of something like really gnarly. And the fact is, like, weak societies don't last very long. And we have a society full of people who can't tolerate even momentary emotional discomfort, even if it means, hearing things that are true and difficult. And look, I went through this myself. I think any man who's matured a little bit at some point did it because he had to confront some difficult truths. You had to look yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm not happy with how this is. And you had to do something to change it. I think men if you're a man who's become a man, you've encountered that point. And I tell you what, man, I think a lot of young people, I think that point in your life is happening later and later and later and later for people. I think you got grown folks out there who have never had this moment where that, like we talked about the fat girl, like jiggling her ass. This is one particular fat girl that I saw over the summertime. It was just in a bikini, just like jiggling her ass in the crosswalk, just like demanding attention. Do you think has she had that moment where she had to accept some difficult truths about herself and make positive life changes? I kind of don't think so. No,
because that would affect her self-esteem.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes your self-esteem should be bad. Like if you're shitty or if you suck or if you're less than you could be. Because here's the thing, society gets good when people try to be the best they could be, Well,
he's being brought up a lot in this episode, but continue.
Okay. Okay. Dude, we got to get him on the show, man. That guy's wild. Dude, I'm in his group chat for his show. Every single thing in there is just like fucking old-timey Bible verses about the end times and shit, about how fucking Catholics worship fucking demons from hell and all kinds of shit. That dude has got some ideas, man. I'd love to have him on the show.
Beware, you are Catholic, and he definitely has a dislike of Catholics.
He really does, which is coming out of what's so crazy about that is I don't think about them at all. I don't have any negative feelings about Baptists, but he's like, it's like every other thing out of his mouth. He's like, you guys fucking, it's like, bro, just chill out. Come to church with me. I promise it'll be fun. This is what happens when you go to a church that's just like a soft rock concert in an abandoned Kmart. You know, that's what happens. You know, you just go to a fucking like you can't have church in a Denny's parking lot. That's not church. You got to have a big fucking building that people died to make, and you gotta suffer. You gotta be on your knees. It should be painful. It shouldn't be.
You brought up Kmart, and I missed the blue light specials.
Me too, man. They had some good toys there too.
They did.
Dude, yeah, man. We lost Kmart. We lost one with that one. Yeah.
Everyone, we need a moment of silence for Kmart.
Let me ask you guys something. Okay, hold on. Let me ask you guys something. So a lot of people were doing our Christmas shop. Okay, we're doing.
No, that wasn't to you. That wasn't to you. That was to the moment of silence for Kmart.
Well, listen. So we do all our shopping online. If you watch the movie Jingle All the Way, right? That movie doesn't make sense now because that was about the toy rushes of the 90s and how crazy that was. I remember in like 96 when they dropped those Power Ranger action figures. And
you can't. I agree. You can't make that movie nowadays because it's not relatable. Because to make a modern telling of that is a bunch of people sitting in their homes waiting for it to drop on an online link to try to be the rush in there.
Yeah, and it's like
it's not the same thing.
Here's the thing. So this was one of the first year where I did last minute Christmas shopping in person, and Target was just one big line, and we're all like put in there like cattle. I saw this husbands and wives just fighting with each other and just like stress levels, and I went in there and I bought a gift card. Gift cards have never been less personal, by the way, because I got a gift card for DoorDash, but you can actually get a gift card that's just like $25 to any of the 10 most popular businesses in the country. One of these has to appeal to you. You know, it's just give them money at that point. But you get the gift card that's slightly less impersonal than money. And then they make cards that are exactly the right size to put a gift card in. And then they make bags that are exactly the right size to put the bag in. Yes,
I love that card.
And they make the bag that's the perfect size to put the card in. You already spent $7 on the card. The bag's just $1 more. You could throw a gay little ribbon on it for just another $1. And
where are you finding dollar bags at? Jesus Christ!
This is at Target. They got bags that are the exact right size to put the envelope in. And these things are all meant to be bought together. So it's supposed to look. So I'm getting a gift for a woman I barely know. Okay, and I sometimes have sex with.
Oh, you see, so he got a card for a woman he barely knows, but he's on with us weekly, and we got jack shit.
Okay, listen, I don't have time to get into this with you guys right now. I also didn't see a Roomba or a smashed cake in my inbox. So I'm saying you guys could have sent me something. So you know.
You moved. Fuck off.
Well, listen. So
you said no. You said I don't want anything right now because it's more things that I would have to move.
Hey, guys! Right. Famous fantasy author B.S. Warren is in the chat.
What's up, bud?
He's a good guy. Go ahead and check out his book. Google him on Amazon. I'm actually reading his book right now. It's incredible.
It's good, isn't it?
One of his main characters, by the way, is a large-breasted muscle mommy. This guy is a man of culture. He's right. He's already two of the first three characters introduced are a hot lesbian and a large-breasted muscle mommy. I'm like, this is my kind of book. I love this already. This man can write. This is I'm telling you, this is B.S. Warren. Here's the thing, B.S. Warren. I'm just going to go off on him for a second. He's in the chat. I'm happy he's here. This is one of those guys that the publishing industry, if it were sane and hadn't got all hopped up on diversity, they would have snapped this guy up and he'd be making movies by now. But no, we're all obsessed with making like fucking gay sex books for girls to read on the bus. And so and it's just like everything has to be very. So all these like awesome, badass, fucking fancy authors that are just like regular white dudes, they got to fucking hustle and make it on their own. So definitely go out and check out his product. Get that for a Christmas gift if you actually like your friends. Because my friends don't like me. They didn't get me shit.
That's get that if you like your friends. He said that Din says no one got him anything, but I don't remember seeing anything in our inboxes as well.
What? That's.
Oh no, that's not true. That's not true. He was nice enough to share cake sitting with us, and that was his gift.
And you even gave him a microphone stand.
Yeah, but that was after Christmas. So
yeah,
technically,
that was a New Year's pity gift. That doesn't even count. What was I even saying? Anyway, so what I was saying is like they got these gift cards, which is the most impersonal gift you could get someone. They made it more impersonal because now it's not even for an individual business. It's just for any of the here, have food tokens, have them. And then you put it in the card and then you put it in the bag, and now all of a sudden it looks like a personal gift. You put a little tag on it. It looks like I was really being thoughtful. I wasn't being thoughtful. I could have handed you $20 cash, and that would have been better for everyone involved. I would have been I spent $8 to make this $20 look like it meant something. Right? Like that's crazy. There's
share my screen and it's all over for Theo.
Oh, it's hold on. Let's see what. Oh, Emerald, this is oh
God.
This is a family show. We can't be showing stuff like this. This is oh man, I'm gonna have to hold on. I'm gonna change the background.
I bet she tastes like creatine and roast beef.
Oh, I bet she does. Bro, she could crush my head between her thighs like a watermelon. Just
one thing I always think when I see a muscle mommy like that, I always think like I wouldn't mind, dating wasn't a problem. In fact, it would be a good thing because it would make me want to match their intensity and level in the gym. I'd want to better myself to look that good for her as well.
Is that a lump?
Yeah,
it's Adam's apple.
They ain't slacking when it comes to protein. That's right. Yeah. No, well, I'm telling you guys, like, here's the thing. I've had the pleasure of enjoying the company of a couple of muscle mommies in my day. And you know what's weird about those chicks? Every single one of them, no matter how strong they are, they want to feel like a pretty princess. Every single one. They want you to like access their feminine side. They want to feel delicate in your arms, which is hard if their arms are the same size as yours. That's tough. Hold on. You could have just learned to do origami with that $20 presentation on point. No, he's right. That's the point. It's like, why are we? This is a deeply impersonal ritual that is stressing everyone out. Like I said, everyone in the store hated being there. We're all packed in there like cattle. They're stressed out. Like I said, husbands and wives are fighting with each other. I saw this dude get into I saw this couple, they got into like a really kind of like intense argument. The husband walked away to go find something that the wife needed, and then she spilled coffee on herself because there's Starbucks in there you can buy so you can be hopped up on caffeine while you're already stressed out. And then she spilled coffee on herself, and she's just like having a mental breakdown in this Target. And isn't this supposed to be the season of giving? Isn't it supposed to be the time where families are coming together,
giving yourself a fucking stroke?
Yeah, it's like, why are we like? Okay, here's the thing. This is one thing. Like, I had a pretty good holiday because I just had to like drop by a couple of people's houses. A bunch of people told me how funny Matt Rife was, and that made me furious. But mostly, I was fine. I think if you're a man with a family, holidays are a time of just pure stress for you.
Perhaps pure hell.
Yeah, it's like because it's like you just gotta just like, oh, I talked to my buddy who's got kids. And he was just like, I called him day after Christmas because I wanted to, start working again. I was like, hey, man, okay, we got this. And he's like, bro, I'm fucking exhausted. I haven't slept in 3 days. You got to leave me alone. I need a day.
Well, no, it's the whole point because I'm a single guy living on my own and stuff like that. And I like the holidays to be able to de-stress, get away from work and relax. And then I go back in. And granted, I did not have really a break. I just had a couple days here, a couple days there, and that was it. But all of the married men were like, yeah, my wife said, you need to go back to work. You need to get out of here. You need to go back to work.
This is what I'm saying. They don't actually want us around. They want to miss us. The part of the relationship that's fun for women is missing us and wondering what we're doing when we're not there. They don't want to see us around. Because if they see what we're doing, they're not going to like it. It's what you do on your day off. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to rest. I'm going to recuperate. I'm going to play video. Now, here's the thing. The reason you're resting and recuperating and chilling is because you've been busting your ass in the real world. That's why. But she didn't see that. She just sees you being lazy. And there's something about a woman seeing a man be lazy that just dries up all their vaginal juices, makes them all tense. They don't like it. They don't like seeing us be happy or that's why they want to destroy all our hobbies. That's why they ruined Star Wars. Because they want us dying in war. They don't want us. They want to wonder whether or not we've been, vanquished by the, by the Trojans or whatever. That's real. Oh, hold on. Grace got something for us. Worst movie I saw in 2024 starred Matt Rife. Not even worth hate watching. Trapped In is the absolute worst. Yeah.
Okay, so I may have missed this. Why do you hate him? I may have missed this. Why do you hate him?
Because, okay, you don't get to look like Batman and have a successful stand-up career.
Why not?
That's too many things. The Lord is not supposed to give with both hands. You got to be like a weird gremlin dude or
You're
something.
Jealous.
You got to have something wrong with you. Also,
we need less of him and more Danny DeVito's.
That's what I'm saying. And listen, the other thing too is he's really popular and famous for his crowd work, right? But here's the thing. He's not the best at crowd work. He's just hot. There's a lot of guys who are way better at crowd work, right? Who you don't know who they are because they're not sexy. Yeah, and the other thing too is when you actually see his special, he can't write a fucking joke. So his popularity has wildly outpaced his level of skill, which is infuriating because learning how to write jokes takes time and focus and effort. And it's really hard. It's very hard to write jokes. But if you're a hot guy, you could just kind of say whatever and people will go along with it. And that's kind of what his career has turned into. And you see his specials and his popularity wildly outpaces his talent.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Also, if you're watching this, Matt Rife, I would absolutely love to open for you. So if you, I would love to be in your next shitty movie. If that's something.
Go fuck yourself. But on the side note, hey man, can you please give me a job?
Please give me a job. I will be your smarmy best friend the next time.
Hey, unlike the other people, unlike everyone else that is just sitting there sucking you off. I was just honest with you and told you my opinion about you. Come on, hire me.
Exactly.
I am not a fucking yes man.
Exactly.
Okay?
I'm not a yes man. Not at all.
I'm not a yes man. Unless you want me to be, then I'll absolutely be the best man if you give me a job.
That's the thing, dude. This shit is out here. This shit's a struggle. I'm not in the position to be turning down money.
Yeah.
Not the luxury that I have yet. It's terrible. Dude, yeah. That's fun, man. That's fun. All right.
I forgot it's January. I'm getting I should have in the mail soon my next installment of the Jelly of the Month Club. I'm looking forward to it.
Whoa, Jelly of the Month Club.
It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Yeah. This is Grace making a good point. Upcoming double crowd work specials. They that will put all of Matt Rife shit to shame. Most of Rice crowd workers play not hard. Thank you. Gray gets it. This is the problem. It's like, and what's the same thing that happened with Dane Cook, where he got really popular on MySpace and then he did not put out a special after the age of 40. Like his stand-up, he flamed out and people got tired of him. And I think the same thing, unfortunately, is going to happen, with Matt Rife. Because here's the thing: we know Louis C.K. is good at comedy because he doesn't have a choice. He's so fucking ugly. There's got to be no other reason people are going to see him.
Yeah,
because Shane Gillis, by the way.
You don't hear people like Matt Rife getting pulled in for jerking in front of a chick because he's hot. Because it's not. They like that. Yeah, they like it when he does it. When you get a bald fat man, not you, but I'm just saying on the opposite side. You got a bald fat man pulling his dick out and jerking off, then you got a problem with it.
Yeah. And on top of that, when he asked permission to do it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. This is what I'm saying. Just don't only jerk off in front of your wife. You should make sure you're married first. Just jerk off in front of your wife after she's give you written permission, and video permission. That's the only
you're making
time
me feel
it's
bad.
safe.
Now you're making me feel bad about when we went and got burgers and I whipped it out and just started. Oh, anyway,
that was fine. That was
table.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about that.
You want to know what? But our server didn't seem to appreciate it.
Wait, well, he was a square.
Going back to Dane Cook for a second. Go back to Dane Cook for a second. Didn't the burnout happen the same time his stepbrother, half brother was like stealing all his money and just kind of sent him into this like fucking spiral? Yeah. I don't think it was people burned out, but I think he still had some life in him, like his career. I just think that both happening at the same time just kind of like fucking nosedived them.
Yeah, and he's doing okay now. He married some woman half his age, and he's doing great. So I mean, we could all do a lot worse than having Dane Cook's career, But and I'm sure things will be fine for Matt Rife. I mostly hate him for the bit, but it's a good bit. But he's it's frustrating. He's also got an interesting thing where he's got a mismatch between his fan base and his material. I talk about this all the time. Since he blew up on TikTok doing crowd work, and then he got a very female-heavy fan base, and then not a fan base of heavy females necessarily, but a heavily female fan base, right? And so then he goes out and actually does his material, and it's very bro-y, and he sounds like a comedian, right? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that guy, that's what a comedian talks like. That's generally what comedians think about stuff if you talk to him. And so he starts he opens with a domestic violence joke, and now all of a sudden his whole audience fucking turns on him, and he's also just like not that good at writing jokes now. So it's a problem. And so his next special was a fucking crowd work special. And there's nothing wrong with doing a crowd work special. But here's the thing. You got at some point, if you want me to respect you as an artist, you got to be able to write jokes. And that's what's tricky about the internet. They have this huge mismatch between there probably is a fan base for his written material, but he would have had to build that slowly over the time by fucking grinding it out in the trenches. You're not going to get that this quick TikTok fame is like very fleeting. We see this in the YouTube space too.
Right. It goes back to it. If you're using like YouTube and stuff to grow your brand because you're already doing the stand-up and that's to get people to go to the shows, that's one thing, because you're using it for the marketing aspect. You're using it to grow. Now, if you're taking just a YouTube and trying to translate it into something else, it doesn't quite work that way. Yes. You can't grow it here first and then try to do it, because look what's happened. You had the late night with what's her name? She had a huge online presence. Yeah. And then when they put her on broadcast, she sucked. It did not translate. It doesn't work. You can't do it. That's why in your case, like you have your comedy. That's what your bread and butter is. And then here it's just to get more people to see you, to go and see your shows. You're using it for marketing. You're using it for the growth, but your product is actually your stand-up that you're already doing.
Yeah, but this is something that gets me all the time, because one thing they'll do at the club here, Spokane Comedy Club does this all the time. Fuck them, they don't hire me anyway. They bring in fucking TikTokers.
Your shit's overpriced.
It is, dude. Don't buy food there. Smuggle it. Wear cargo pants and bring your own food when you go to that place. Like, I'm telling you, listen. They bring in TikTokers, YouTubers, fucking mommy bloggers, whatever they can think of, improv comedians, and they'll just throw them on stage and shove them on microphone because they're a draw, because they're a famous guy. It's like, oh, that guy's famous. I've seen him on my phone. He was funny on my phone, so I'll go see a live show. And that fills rooms. It puts butts in seats. But at the end of the day, stand-up is a completely different medium. It's its own animal by itself. It's different from being funny in conversation. It's different from improv comedy. It's way different from doing this stuff online. It's its own animal. And you got to dedicate a lot of time and effort and energy and focus into getting good at that specific thing, And there's not really a substitute for that. So you put these people on there and their shows suck. They had some broad from the fucking Bachelor who was doing a stand-up comedy tour because she likes attention, because she's a fucking narcissist. And people will go see her because it's like, oh, that girl from The Bachelor? Yeah, I remember her. She was funny. And they'll go see her, But she's not a good artist. She's just marketable because you can put her in front of people and you can see this. And people see her. I have this is my same frustration a little bit with Kill Tony, because Kill Tony is essentially like a really popular open mic. A lot of the guys that have blown up from Kill Tony are way, way, way more popular than their skill level. So they're basically going through their open mic awkward phase as a famous guy. They're getting all this money to go perform, and they don't necessarily have the material to back it up yet. But people don't understand that. People don't. It's not like singing. Like if you got a little kid with a great voice, you can write a bunch of songs for them and put them out there, and they can be successful, right away. But comedy's not like that. You have to cultivate and develop that voice over time. This is enough me talking about comedy and no one gives a shit. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's my frustration is like everyone's saying, getting these social media stars and thinking that they're going to be good at stand-up is just wrong. And to be fair, I do think Matt Rife is a capable, he's a serviceable stand-up comedian. He's not the worst out there. He's just not as good as his level of popularity. That's my issue with him.
So I'm going to now try hard to get in touch with him and get him to come on here to respond to your claims just now.
Bro,
I'm going to start looking that up right now.
Honestly,
what is the deal with the racist traffic lights? Notice that it's always indicating that only white people can cross. What is up with that?
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
And it's only telling people that happen to be of red skin that they have to stop and they can't walk. What is the deal?
God.
I'm looking it up right now, Rogish. I'm looking it up.
You're trying to get to his agent? Yeah, got it.
Yeah, I have his email address right here.
God damn. Yeah. Rogue Nerd says we should call him out, see if we could start this shit. Yeah. Let's see. Honestly, me getting into a public slap fight with Matt Rife is probably the best thing that could possibly happen to my career. Just to be honest, like other than some famous feminist trying to destroy my life, I think a public slap fight with Matt Rife is probably the best thing. No,
I don't want to bring him on here to boost you. I don't get to fucking tear you down.
Good. He's so fucking hot. It makes me so mad.
If you two dudes went at each other like on this, I would probably have to turn my my screen down. I couldn't look at both of y'all.
He's too good looking. Like if you put it, here's the thing. You think I'm undressing you with my eyes. You wait till you get that motherfucker on here. Because here's the thing. He's had his teeth fixed. He's had plastic surgery. He's on.
And I saw that dude when he was on that show with Jeff Foxworthy. That when they had the reality show, they had the comedians were I saw when he was on that. And I'm like, when I first saw him after, I was like, holy shit, it's the same dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he got a hold of some adrenochromes or something, man. Like that kind of glow up in adult life is not normal. Like I've seen, I had a pretty significant glow up between ages like 24 to now. I've glowed up pretty significantly, but that was just working out and caring about my appearance that did that. But seriously, this dude went from being just a goofy looking weirdo, and then to being a fucking male model, overnight. You can't be that hot and that funny. Somebody made a deal with the devil. Something's fishy. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. I'm calling bullshit. Something's wrong here. This is hitting me right in the Catholicism. We need to get an exorcist over there. Fucking figure out what's going on. No, that's true. He's making a good point. Some of these guys, some of the guys that first blew up off Kill Tony are solid. With the exception of Hans Kim. I think Hans Kim is wildly overrated. I don't think Hans Kim is funny at all. And people in comedy don't really respect Hans Kim. He gets outrageous amounts of money for making racist jokes that you could hear at any open mic. But David Lucas is a fucking murderer. I saw him live when he came out here. That dude is a fucking legend. And his podcast is good too. He takes people fishing, and so it's cool. David Lucas is a murderer. Absolutely. A lot of those folks are good. But
then that's what you need to do. You need to do a drug stream. You have people come on, and you give them and have them drink caffeine. And you get them all drugged up on caffeine.
Dude, I want a fucking Celsius so
Celsius?
bad right
Celsius.
Dude, I want a Celsius so bad right now.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna create Fahrenheit so we can make them try both on a podcast.
Oh, great! It's gonna be like the cola wars. Which one's better, Pepsi or Coke?
No. Their head's gonna explode. Both of them are gonna die.
Oh, dude, you enjoyed the Celsius? Well, you're a communist.
That's right, bro. You can call me whatever Celsius? You want.
Funny trick. That was actually the Fahrenheit.
Dude, I don't care what you say. I'm pouring that sweet, sugary goodness right down my throat as soon as I get off this live. That's what's happening. I'm like, dude, that's good. All right, folks, we're coming up on that 2-hour mark, so I want to go ahead and do outros. Quizmaster Darnell Quigley, where can I find you if I want more of your hilariousness?
Well, tonight I will be on the Curse of Strahd stream with Full Metal Nate. It will be, I'm not sure the time. I think it's going to be 5:30 Central. I could be wrong.
The worst time zone.
Oh, God. Hey, I was up and ready to go by on my time zone.
I was up
for the show today. Sundays I do dabble with Space Jockeys. It's been off for about a month or so, and at the end of every month I'll do usually a table read with Moxie Dame and David Fierce and that whole crew. We have a fucking blast. Go check out those two previous ones we did if you want to laugh your ass off for about 2 to 3 hours. Monday night I will be with the MSK show. Tuesday night is the return of Quiz Time with Quizmaster Darnell Quigley on at 8:45 p.m. Central Time. We were off for a few weeks for holidays. We're coming back hard and fierce. And then Friday night we'll be with this lovely man and that man who is going to be in the sights of Matt Rife soon. If I have my way about it, on insert title here.
Hell yeah. What about you, Drunk Emerald Arrow? Where can I find you if I want more of your sexy beard?
I will be let's see, this week I'll be curling up in bed, hating my life for a brief, and then I'll be back to the insert title here show on Friday night at 9:30 PST, the best time zone. And then back here next Saturday.
All right. And as for me, my name is Theo Snodgrass. I am a comedian. I actually recently just dropped a new stand-up video that's doing somewhat well. So go over ahead and head over to my YouTube and check that out. I'm field test. I'm kind of building up my material with that. I'm also going to be doing a crowd work special that I'm filming on the 30th of January. That's this month. We're going to try to live stream that. So when that goes live, I'll be sure to let you know. Also, the film I'm hiring, I've got a Kickstarter going, so we're going to be funding a whole camera crew. It's going to be fucking badass. So when that goes live, make sure to follow my Twitter so you can donate to that Kickstarter so I can pay these people. We're talking multiple camera angles, shots of the crowd, quality audio. I'm going to look even sexier. It's going to be incredible. Also, I do every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. until we change the time later, which is not happening right now. I'm going to be right here doing Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. Also, Friday nights, 9:30 Pacific time. I am going to be doing insert title here with these two fine gentlemen. That's more of a serious policy show where we really get into the issues.
Oh yeah,
constantly showing the goods.
Yeah. Next week on Touch Grass, we're going to have special guest Vaughn Coleman. He's going to be promoting his comic book that he just dropped. That's going to be super exciting. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure to follow all of these fine people here on YouTube, on Twitter, and wherever else you can find them. Make sure to keep up with all the stuff that we're doing. And make sure to go outside and touch some grass. All right, fellas, we're out of here.
Peace.